Okay, so here's a wild question. Why is this chair literally everywhere? Like, seriously, everywhere. I'm talking every continent, every country, rich neighborhoods, poor neighborhoods, fancy hotels, street stalls. Your grandma probably has one. Your friend definitely has one in the garage. What if I told you this simple plastic chair has a crazier story than most celebrities? This isn't just furniture. This is one of the greatest mysteries in design history. First, let's get something straight. This chair, called the monobloc, is literally one piece. No screws, no assembly, no cursing at IKEA instructions at 2 a.m. It's called monobloc because mono means one and block means block. So literally one block, one piece of plastic. That's it. That's the whole thing. The story of the monobloc is like Game of Thrones if everyone was fighting over a plastic chair instead of a throne. In the 1960s, Danish designer Werner Panton asked, "What if a chair was one crazy wavy piece?" He created the iconic S-shaped Panton chair. Futuristic, beautiful, and so expensive only rich people ever sat on it. Italian designer Vico Magistretti had the same idea with his sleek Celine chair. Again, designer masterpiece. Not exactly backyard barbecue material. Then, in 1972, French engineer Henri Massenet changed the game. What if we made a chair for normal people? At his factory in France, he designed the Fauteuil 300, a plastic chair that could be molded from a single shot of molten plastic in under 2 minutes. 2 minutes from goo to chair. Suddenly, the designer dream was something you could mass produce. In the 1980s, company Grofelex pushed it over the edge with a version so cheap almost anyone could buy one. Around $8. Overnight, this wasn't just furniture, it was the people's chair. Here's the wild part. No one really locked down the design. No big patent. So factories in India, China, Brazil, Nigeria, the Philippines, everywhere started making their own. By the 1990s, you couldn't walk through a wedding in Delhi, a street cafe in Paris, a market in Lagos, or a backyard in Des Moines without seeing the same plastic silhouette. Today, there are likely billions of these chairs on the planet, and most people have no idea they're sitting on design history. So why did this one beat every other chair on Earth? First, price. It costs just a few dollars to make and sells for under 10. When a factory can spit out thousands a day, that's serious money. Second, it stacks. These things pile up like Pringles, 20 or more high, so shipping and storage are ridiculously cheap. Third, they survive almost anything. Sun, rain, dust, beach parties, roadside tea stalls. Plastic doesn't rot or rust. It just keeps going. Fourth, it fits almost everyone and every culture. Big, small, tall, short, same chair. You can't really tell if you're in Sweden or Senegal from the chair alone. And the secret sauce, it's forgettable. You sit, you chat, you leave. The chair never tries to steal the show. And that's exactly how it quietly took over the world. Now, the twist that turns this cheap lawn chair into something kind of heroic. An engineer named Don Schendorfer once saw a disabled woman dragging herself across a road. Years later, he looked at a monobloc and thought, what if this became a wheelchair? He bolted the chair to a simple metal frame, added bicycle wheels, and created a low-cost wheelchair that could be built and shipped for around the price of a nice dinner. Since then, his organization has given more than 1 million of these chair-based wheelchairs to people in poorer countries who could never afford a traditional one. Same plastic chair, totally different impact. But not everyone loves the monobloc. In some rich neighborhoods, people hate it. Ugly, cheap, bad taste. Some cities have even talked about banning it from public spaces. Meanwhile, in many parts of the world, the same chair is gold. It's affordable, it lasts, and when it cracks, people repair it instead of throwing it away. A so-called disposable chair becomes part of the family. One object is a plastic eyesore in one place and a symbol of equality in another. Same chair, completely different meaning. Design museums have put it in exhibitions. Filmmakers have made documentaries about it, and designers are now remaking it from recycled plastic instead of new. So next time you sit in one of these chairs, at a wedding, a cafe, or on your balcony, remember, you're not just on a cheap plastic seat. You're on a tiny piece of global history that connects billionaires, street vendors, and wheelchair users all over the world. What do you think? Genius design or plastic nightmare?